Welcome to the Ball and Books podcast, where each week we will be having unfiltered conversations with real athletes of every level about their real college experience. I'm your host, Sam Davidson, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone, back to episode 2 of the Ball and Books podcast. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. I'm here with the guest, Evan Stinson of Stanford basketball. Evan, I've had the pleasure to grow up with him, play basketball against him, with him, and great athlete, but a great human to be around. So it's a pleasure to have him on. Evan, welcome on, man.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Sir, yes, sir. So I gave a brief introduction, but tell the people more about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Evan Stinson. I grew up in Cheney, went to Cheney High School, played against Sam here, played with him, basketball. He's a great athlete himself, and just a pleasure growing up with him. Just Evan Stinson, a follower of Christ, follower of Jesus. I just do my best every day to live more like him, and that's really guided me to where I need to go. So, like I said, went to Cheney High School, and then have the pleasure right now to play at Stanford for Stanford basketball.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So talk to me about growing up, playing sports. I mean, played sports here since you remember, I'm guessing, especially basketball.
Yeah, grew up.
Get buckets days all the way up. Just tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Wow, throwback. AAU days, get bucket squad. Our technician Quinn Hubs was also on that squad. So loved AAU. Had a great squad, great family. Had valuable skills built up there, and then again, just really fell in love with the game. My dad coached high school basketball, so I was just always in the gym, always there. He coached girls basketball for University High School, so I was always there watching the games. Not really watching the games. I was in the other gym playing basketball while he was coaching. So that was always fun, and then just fell in love with it from there.
That's awesome, bro. I have a funny clip that I'm going to attach to the video of me and Evan at the Shadle Park kids camp that I'm going to add to this. I just thought of it's nuts. We're probably like this tall, but that's a throwback to how long we've been playing with and against each other. It's pretty crazy. That's where we're at right now.
Coach David Wagenblast.
Oh yeah,
I think he's rebounding for us.
Yeah, he's rebounding. Yeah, that's awesome. It's good to see where you're at and stuff with. Since we've been this tall to now, wherever we're at, always working out with each other. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Just seeing each other going up, and then basketball was very, very baseline. Then ventured out a little bit. That's what you got to do. You can't just play one sport your whole life. You got to ebbs and flows. Played baseball, played golf, played high school golf actually for the free golf.
Tell me about that. Tell me about more of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of the golf.
Cheney High School. There was 10 guys that showed up, and 10 guys made the team. So that's really nice. So made varsity. Had a good time there. Free golf. We loved it.
Sweet lefty stroke.
Lefty stroke. You know how I go.
So sweet. So talk to me about. Let's go into high school basketball. So, Cheney. Not to say that, but was it always at the top of the ranks? And you had your opportunities to maybe move a school, but you didn't, and you just flourished in the Cheney program and kind of put them on the map in a way. I mean, we only beat you guys by 3, and we were. So yeah, talk to me about that. Your decision to just stay at Cheney with the OG guys, and just how it turned out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was our whole goal, is just get beat by Mount Spokane less and less every time. I mean, obviously our goal is to win, but we got it pretty close at the end, which is fun. But yes, definitely wanted to stay close to home. Not really close to home, but with that tight-knit community. Always had the boys there, which was my main thing. Didn't want to change, didn't want to leave that friendship. And just going through the whole thing with them was just super important to me, super important to my family. They gave me free reign. They said, if you want to transfer, you can. But I just really love Cheney, love the teachers of the school, the people around it, and like I said, the boys, and that's why I stayed.
And you got to play with Mason too. That was pretty cool.
I got to play with my brother my senior year, and that was just a super fun ride.
What was cool was you ended up getting into that. I came and watched that Meade, that 3-way tie, whatever that was.
That Kansas City tiebreaker, yeah.
That's making the playoffs, in my opinion. So the fact you took a school that doesn't really do that to get that is pretty cool.
You know, we're going to call it the playoffs. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a playoffs for sure, yeah. No, that's sweet. So, committed to WSU first overall. I wanted to get into that. And then coaching change, Coach Smith. Talk to me about recruiting in general, how it turned into WSU, your options in general, and then when that happened, your flip to Stanford, kind of what played into that. Just tell me about the process as a whole.
Yeah, so I'll probably start just making that relationship with Coach Smith and that whole WSU coaching staff, which was the main reason I flipped and went to Stanford. So just through high school, and then kind of end of my junior year, start of my senior year, had a pretty decent summer playing basketball. Just kind of got some more attention, and more attention from Kyle and the whole squad there too. So I got to come to open gyms, and they flew, saw me play in Vegas and California, those places, and just were really recruiting me. And that was always my goal. That's really where I wanted to go, was WSU. So committed there. Was lit. I thought everything was perfect. And then we were sitting in accounting class, first period, again with technician Quinn Hubbs. He got the ESPN notification that Kyle Smith flipped to Stanford, and kind of shook everything up. And a lot of uncertainty, a lot of don't knows. So that was not like a scary time, because I know who I have my faith in. But again, just a lot of time would change. So yeah, I'll just keep going on that. And then when he flipped, I got the call like a little bit later, the next day. So that waiting period there was a little bit stressful. Again, a lot of unknowns, didn't know what was going on. Then got the call, and he said he wanted me to come with him there.
Talk about the feeling of. So you said the waiting period is just that is a stressful time, I bet, especially because, I mean, you don't know the uncertainty of if they're going to take or they're just going to move on, especially portal-wise. Like, what if they just pick up the – but talk to me about that call, like the relief, like weight off your shoulders in a way. And then was it initially like, yeah, I want to follow Coach Smith, or was there like, oh, but Washington State has always been my dream? Like, talk to me about those feelings of, who – like recruited you hard and wanted you, and then he gave you the call and told you it's the same, and then but you still have the WSU of that was my dream school, whatever. So talk to me about that in the decision making.
Yeah, that waiting period a little bit. Again, I had figured a little bit just because those are my guys. We had built a really strong relationship, but like you said, the portal, a lot of unknowns. Maybe he's just going to keep everybody that's there, and their whole recruiting class. So getting that call, like you said, lots of relief, just knowing that, oh, this is my guy. We'll just go from there, work it out together. And that they wanted to get me on a visit there really quick just so I could see it, make sure it was all good. So that whole visit was actually pretty funny because it was all the coaches' first week there too. So they didn't know where anything was. So that was, I mean, not really encouraging as you're going there as a player. Coaching staff kind of doesn't know totally what's going on. But just because it is a family and they brought me into their family, I committed to their family. And just that trust and that loyalty, knowing where we were going to go there together. And then touching on the WSU fact, again, David Riley got the new job at WSU, and he is the guy that gave me my first offer. So at Eastern Washington University. So again, that was still definitely a decision I had to make. But talking to both those guys, talking to David Riley, he actually grew up in Palo Alto, just on that Stanford campus area. And he kind of knew my situation. Like, do you think you're probably leaning towards that? I was like, yeah. And he's like, that's what I would do too. So that kind of was the final say there.
No, I remember when it happened because Quinn, if anybody doesn't know, Quinn, Evan's friend, was my college roommate, so we were pretty close. So I remember texting him like, dude, what is he gonna do? Because I was just at Hum now, the facility, and I was like, wow, that's pretty nuts. But yeah, it looks like it's worked out pretty well. And I mean, Stanford athletic and academic wise is pretty nuts. And then they joined the ACC. So was that like, but that was after you committed, was it, or was that before?
Not totally sure on the timeline. Quinn, could you look that up?
Could you actually pull that up?
I believe it was before too.
But that's a big move, especially with like that's right before you went, or that's after you went for the summer.
I'm pretty sure that's after I committed there.
That's a long timeline, so that's gonna confuse me.
2023. Okay. So I think it was already a done deal. Right?
Does that play into your decision at all when you see like you're going to be able to play at North Carolina and Duke?
I don't think it played into my decision, but it was definitely a
A plus.
great plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's sick. And so, I mean, we're gonna get into the college, but just talk to me about playing at North Carolina and Duke.
I didn't play in the North Carolina game. That was one where Jalen Blake's hit that crazy game
Oh
winner.
yeah.
Just atmosphere was electric. And Carolina, little side note, was my like bigger dream school.
That was
would
like
be
the biggest, yeah.
the pinnacle. I'd always loved that. My dad always loved that playing, or Jordan playing there and everything. And the culture there is awesome. So just getting to play there, or just getting to see that, was super cool. And then playing at Duke again, two very different atmospheres, I would say. Just Carolina's got a massive stadium. Duke's very just intimate. All the students in the stands know your name.
There's a right on the floor too.
Right on the floor.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Have a sheet with your name and your grade point average, everything like that. So that was super fun.
So a thing I wanted to get in as we transitioned from high school to college was like for me for baseball, I didn't really have like I had a whole summer to prepare before I went after I graduated. You for basketball graduated and then you're heading down there to start summer. So talk to me about like the summer training and stuff and like how that adjust, because you got to make that adjustment way quicker than I did, because I was like the summer in the gym was a different mentality, because it was like I got to get ready for day one. Your day one was way quicker than ours. So talk to me about that, getting prepared for that, and like that whole timeline from graduating straight into moving down and all that.
Yeah, so the journey actually probably started after spring break. So that's kind of when I committed to Stanford. So I had that spring to plan and try and get in shape as best as I knew how to do. So we had a kind of a small group. It was me, Ryan Lafferty, Henry Sandberg, working out at Gas House Gym every single day. Shout out Gas House Gym.
Shout out Gas House, yeah.
Changing lives out there.
Athletes made.
Athletes made, better humans made too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we had that spring to train and prepare. And that was a super fun experience, just working hard with those guys day in and day out. So, again, like you said, it wasn't the summer, so there was still other commitments I had to do, school, class, other basketball workouts and stuff, and the whole process of graduating too. So it wasn't, like you said, as focused. But then, like you said, once I got there, it was like 1 week of kind of a grace period, I guess, and then you're just right into it. They're throwing 3 workouts a day at you. You're waking up at 5:45 to go get taped practices, and you're lifting later, and then you're coming back to shoot. So it was definitely a change, definitely very different from the high school setting, but it was all I ever wanted to do, and it was just a super fun experience right from the start.
Was there a certain like thing that happened, or a thing a person said, a teammate, coach, whatever, that kind of helped you get over that border of that, like you said, the 1 week grace period, and then you're just into it? Like, was there something a teammate said, tapped you on your back, picked you up when you're down, whatever, that helped you out cross that border and just make you more comfortable as the summer went on into the fall and then into the season?
So I kind of had a little bit of a different story. And little side note, call your mom. Please call your mom. She wants to hear from you. So I know you're busy, but you have 5 minutes to call your mom. Tell her that you love her. So that's a big thing. Just staying grounded in your family and your faith. I think I did a decent job of just staying grounded in my faith, but just knowing that family portion of my life is just so prevalent. Just making sure to keep all those strings attached just like they were before. That's a super big plus there. And then, like I just said, I had kind of a different story. So those first couple of weeks, I struggled for sure, getting integrated into the new offense, new team, new basketball. The line's a little bit farther back. Guy like myself shoots a lot of threes. Kind of needed to get adjusted like that. So first couple of weeks, yeah, were a little bit rough. Jumper was off, confidence was low, and then kind of what pulled me out of that was Coach Smith really just taking me aside, worked on my shot on the side, just knowing that I have trust in him, he has trust in me, and we can just go from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's why I'm gonna try to pry out of guys that I talk to and girls that I talk to, of course, is that crossing point in that part where the struggles turn into like, okay, like I can settle down, like be where my feet are at, and just play my game. Because like I know when I showed up, it was straight into it, and Quinn could vouch. Like we were straight into it, and it was you're competing for a spot. Like, and there's guys there that are Maxine Raynaud. He's one of the best players in the country, and you got like spots like that are filled. Like those guys are there, and they've earned their spot, and they're still working, and they have so much trust in the coaching staff, and the coaching staff has trust in them, and then you're going in, and you're trying to earn that too. So like those lessons learned are super nice to hear about, because it's like some people don't end up getting that, and some people are just in I have buddies on my team that never really made that connection with a teammate or player, and they struggled all the way through to March. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's good. I'm glad that happened for you, especially Coach Smith. That was probably a great feeling.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. That's a really good perspective there, because even after that, I kind of started playing a little bit better for another week, and then I got injured, and then I broke my foot, so was out for that whole summer and the start of the fall, and that's when I really got connected to our training staff and our weights trainer as well. So how to get in the gym, how to get stronger, so I could, but weather the storms of college basketball and Division I sports too, and then that kind of helped just round out the family aspect as well. So hanging with the team really helped that, and then hanging with our athletic trainer and then our sports performance coach, just really knowing that it's a family and we're gonna get through it together. That's just super integral in my life.
Yeah, sweet. So I wanted to talk about the injury, because I remember texting Quinn again, because I thought you redshirted. Like when we talked before, I thought that was the plan, and then I see that you're playing against Utah Valley, and that was great. So talk to me about coming back from the injury and getting to the point where you're ready to play, and then you go and have a pretty good opening game.
That whole journey was that was a wild ride for sure. So coming back in the fall, start of school and everything, trying to get healthy. Like you said, I thought I was going to redshirt too. That's kind of the conversation that I had with the whole coaching staff. Like, oh, you're injured. We missed the whole summer there. It's probably smart to redshirt. And we're like, yeah, okay, awesome. So I was getting healthy, getting back integrated into practices, and started having really good practices. And again, I thought I was just going to be running the scout team, doing what I could there, and just being the other team's best guy, best I could. And then we went down to GCU to play, and didn't play that well there. Had a couple of other conversations with coaches, and then they kind of just said, or actually, a little bit of funny story here. Our practice for the GCU game, I was running the offense a little bit, and then just totally messed up a play. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, it doesn't really matter too much. But then I got yelled at, just chewed out. Stinson, we need you to play. So that was kind of my mindset flip right there. It's like, oh, team needs me. I'm going to be 110% from here on out. Not that I wasn't trying, obviously, but still just kind of more focused approach. And then that next game, got in there, had a good game.
Sweet. That dunk was crazy too.
Little lob for a 7-footer.
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah, but I mean, an injury right away your freshman year, that's definitely probably tough on you, I'm guessing. Because like what I was saying with the trying to make a name for yourself already. I mean, they recruited you, knew you could play, but then you're trying to come in and prove it. And then it's lingering, like we talked about. So talk to me about what you're doing right now with your training. So training and what you're doing right now to recover, come back stronger, and then because then we're going straight into the fall, and then it's all full steam ahead. So talk to me about that, recovering and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, hurt it again. A little bit of a lingering injury, but I'm a couple weeks out from being 100%. So that's encouraging for me for sure. And then again, full steam ahead after that. So another shout out to Gas House Gym, Shoot 360. Just Spokane has so many good people all around that are trying to help you to get you where you need to go. But again, it's all on yourself. You could be a couch potato. You could sit here, relax, home, go to the lake every day. But like lakes for the weekends. Yeah. Gotta.
Nothing wrong with the lake.
Absolutely, nothing wrong with the lake.
No, that's good. I agree. Spokane, like, again, not a lot of people get to come back home, enjoy their friends, and also have a community that, like what Donnie's building has built, I would say, at Gas House, and the trainers he's got there with they got every type of athlete in there, boy, girl, any sport, just getting better. And Shoot 360, of course, like they got that new Hum Now thing out there for baseball, and it's pretty cool to come back and then just see there's so many opportunities for people to get better at their sport and all that. So I like that you brought that up. That's a good shout out to the hometown.
Hometown.
Yes, sir. So flipping from athletics for a second, because Stanford is a prestige university, especially academically. So talk to me about academics and balancing the toughness of a schedule at Stanford with basketball, and how people are help you, like tutoring and also your coaches and all that, how you got to balance your classes with playing basketball as well it's not a Lower Columbia where where you're taking music appreciation online. So talk to me about that.
Lower Columbia Stray is crazy. That's okay. It's a great.
Not a stray. I love shout out Lower Columbia as well. We love Lower Columbia, but Stanford is a little more prestige than what we witnessed.
Yeah, prestigious for sure. So again, going from my senior year, I thought I was gonna go to Washington State. So I took classes kind of tailored to, Washington State. I just had to graduate, keep my grade point average up. But then the switch happened for sure. And like you said, it's basically an Ivy League school. And then again, I'm just super blessed. My whole thing going through high school was keep your grades up, do as best as you can, because an opportunity might arise. Because I didn't even know if I was going to be able to play Division I college basketball. So starting my freshman year and sophomore year, I just said, why not? Why not just go full in there, go full in sports, because an opportunity might arise, and it did. Yeah. So transitioning to Stanford itself, again, a lot of people say it's harder to get in than flourish when you're in there. So again, I was super blessed to given a track through basketball to that university, which is awesome. But again, it's just about how much you put in. It's not going to be crazy different too many places where you go. But if you're going to be hard-headed, take the time to make the time just to be an athlete and an academic at the same time, you're going to do great.
Wow. Great piece of advice in there in that question too. So what was your schedule like academically? Because like for me, other than first quarter or whatever we're on, I don't even know. I was in person and everything was online. So talk to me about your schedule, your classes, all that, and the workload, just all the stuff academically.
Yeah, so you kind of have to make your own schedule. We have one academic advisor, and she is great, super helpful. But again, it's mostly on you. At Stanford, the athletes don't get a early access to building their schedule, which is actually pretty difficult when you're trying to build your schedule with the season and practice and everything. So there are a couple classes we didn't get into, but all in all, schedule worked out okay. So you're either practicing in the morning or the afternoon. So morning practice, you're going from 7 to 10, or afternoon practice, you're going from 3 to 6. So if it is 7 to 10, you just have to, again, build your schedule around what works for you, which is awesome. But then you're going to miss out on some things there. So during the season, it was definitely way harder. Had to take a lighter workload, not as many units, a couple fake online classes in there that aren't really going to help you towards, again, a major, but they're units that are going to help you graduate. But again, it's that sacrifice there of, can you take that harder class that's going to help you there, or can you not? And then you just balance that throughout. And then again, season you're doing homework in lounges, in hotel rooms, on the plane. It's not super grueling, but it's just something, oh, you have to do this. You're not in a setting where you're comfortable to do school maybe. So again, my first year, you're doing homework on a plane, you're doing homework in a hotel lobby. Maybe there's distractions everywhere. You're not in a library like you could be. But again, we prevail. You do the work, and it turned out okay.
Was it tough to get used to as soon as season started? Because like high school, I guess when you're in basketball season, it's so different because you got the full day, and there's not like practices and stuff where you have a specific time. So was it weird getting used to, oh, I gotta write this essay on a bus, like stuff like that? So talk, because again, we didn't really have to do that much. Like we had study tables, of course, where we got a lot of our stuff done. The guys that wanted to get ahead on their work, but we never really had to get on a plane and write an essay instead of enjoying a movie. So talk about the mindset change of oh I forgot homework that I need to do, or I got to get my homework done, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say, like you said, you can't just chill in your hotel room because it's a school day. Because we play on a Wednesday, play Wednesday, Saturday, so and then we leave Monday. So they're week-long trips when you're going to the East Coast to play ACC teams. So it's kind of a full day of travel. You're pooped. You can't do anything. Tuesday's kind of you have practice, but it's a pregame practice, so it's a little bit lighter. So Tuesday's a big workload day, and then again another travel day in there, another workload day. So it's kind of more in larger chunks, I would say, not just. I mean, me personally, I'm not very good at doing a little bit here, doing a little bit there. I have to sit down and be locked in and be focused to do something like write an essay. But definitely very different from our fall schedule where you can grind, do work in class, and then you go home before bed, type a bunch of stuff out, go to bed, do it all again. Your schedule is very different, and then hopefully I'll be more integrated this year just to take those things on.
So after season, so are you guys like quarters, semesters?
We're at quarters.
Quarters. So that like spring quarter per se, like after season, do you, if you build your own schedule in a sense, do you stack up more classes then when it's not, or do you have to take the same amount of units each time?
Absolutely, definitely loaded up in the spring. So to be on time to graduate for a quarter system, you got to take 15 units per quarter, so 45 a year, 180 to graduate. So I was only taking 12 in preseason and season. So definitely had to load it up. Didn't get as much sleep in the spring because still balancing your social life and your friends, and you're still trying to get better at basketball. You're lifting, you're working every day. Just the practice schedule's a little bit different. There's and a lot of time, so you only get an hour a day with your coaches and them yelling at you, but instead of 3 hours a day. But yeah, like you said, there's more schoolwork to be done in the spring.
So like, what's like your schedule in the spring look like with practice? Because as an off season, in a way, while you're still in school, like you said, like the time restrictions where you only get 1 hour. So is it like a practice and team oriented, or is it more like one-on-one coaching and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we were in the spring. We were kind of still in season a little bit to start, but then actually, no, that was the end of our season. So we could have been if we were still playing and traveled deep into the tournament. We didn't make the tournament and we lost second round of the NIT. So we got a spring break and a transition, like sadly getting a spring break. So the goal next year is to not have a spring break. But yeah, the question was the practice schedule.
Like what does a day, like a schedule look like for like practicing, of course, because you have that hour restriction to the point where, is it like a team oriented thing? Because when I had Bodie on, they do like a lot of PRPs, like player ran practices and stuff, which is different than basketball in a way because there's a lot more to get like done in football, like play memorizing and stuff. So like, do you guys get together and do runs and then your hour is more coaches, or is it team oriented with the coaches, then get your own work done and also do runs? This is kind of what I was trying to ask.
So we were blessed to have a couple weeks at the start of the quarter to where we were totally off from basketball and lifting. So in that space, you would just go get your own work done, go shoot, go again, runs 2-on-2, 3-on-3s with the boys, with your teammates. And then once it actually did start up again, you would be lifting in the morning. So either 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. lift into class. And then we would have a set practice time every day for 3 o'clock. And then you'd have an hour. I'm doing air quotations for an hour here because you got the pre and the post. Pre, you got to get tape, do your rehab, everything like that, practice. And then after is when those individual workouts would happen. So it's still a full-time job, really.
No, yeah, that's what, like I told Bodie on the last one, that's like I want to find out because we don't really have that leeway because we're always in game mode because fall we're playing, spring we play, and then we get shipped off to summer ball and just play. So it's really on our own. The work's kind of get it done on your own. So that's why I like to hear with all the different sports, because it's just there's so much similarities like in the differences of our sports and schedules, that it's interesting to hear, because like I'm on quarters, you're on quarters, but I have the winter and the whole winter break. That's like my spring break, and it's elongated, so it's like that's when your personal workouts or your break is, and then it's just game. Like you're just game ready, get your body game ready. So I wanted to talk about like working out, the training in the summer when you're here or whenever you're there, when you're not in game mode. What does that look like building strength wise? And then when you are in season and preseason, like what does the training look like when you're trying to stay healthy and just stay game ready?
The main difference is definitely just the amount of lifts and the intensity of your lift. So we're blessed with one of the best strength coaches in the country, Michael Robinson. He's just
Hopefully he's on the pod. Shout out.
shout out. I'll let him know. Let's go. So he is awesome. Just again integrated. It's a family. So he listens to us, and we always have trackers in our jerseys during practices to see how hard we go, how far we run, and then just kind of calculates the intensity of a practice. So in like during season, those 3-hour practices, those numbers are going to be skyrocketed, way higher. So our lifts are going to be less intense and just more intentional lifts, and just trying to stay healthy, stay on top of all your lingering injuries and everything. And then out of season lifts, you're going hard. There's a set plan. You're doing 4 weeks at a time schedules. You're trying to increase in every capacity of your lifts. You're eating more. You're given pre and post like milkshakes and everything you got to drink and everything like that. Weight gainers, they'll throw some more ice cream in your shake, and then you just go from there.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like the fact, like the difference is nuts, because like we always have to lift heavy, or because we're not doing running. I mean, Quinn's doing some running, which he's a pitcher, but like we're like we're doing sprints, of course, and trying to stay fast and all that quick twitch, but we're lifting hard. But then of course, like like you said, like it lowers when we're in games the intensity, because it's like we can't just be ripping hundreds on the bench press and RDLing the house and then going and playing, and then you're just like you throw a ball and your arms
You're dead.
toast. Yeah. So like we do a lot of strength building the whole time, but then it evens out into 2 days a week, and then it's like super intentional, like with our core and our like we do more accessory in a way, but yeah, it's similar in the loads, but it's also you guys are 3-hour practices long of up and down, a lot of more cardio than us. So, and I played my fair share of hoops, so I know
Absolutely,
how it feels in
you
a
did.
way. But I wasn't much of a cardio guy.
You're a little point guard. Bring it up.
Yeah,
That-
bring it
that's
up, take the charge, and then
Yeah.
call for a little sub. Get about 8 to 12 a game. Yeah, that's
So-
how Quinn was too growing up. Yeah. So as before we wrap it up, this is kind of a common theme I want to get into in every person I bring on, of the college athlete experience is what I'm saying on here, but it's what is a piece of advice you wish you got, or like you could tell your past self. So like people that are watching, like future college athletes, can listen in from a guy that's experienced it all with injuries, playing at one of the best universities in the nation. What is a piece of advice you would give a future athlete or your past self to get you ready for the next level?
Yeah, like you said, it kind of gets to a point where it's, oh, this is a lot. You're playing, you're hooping. There's a bunch of classes you got to do. You're hurt. You're trying to rehab. And then I think the most important thing, and I wish people definitely did tell this to me, which I'm grateful for, but this is one of the things you have to figure out for yourself. Like, what are you grounded in? What are you tied to that you want to be tied to? And for me, that's my faith and that's my family. So talking to the Lord, talking to your mom every day you can. That's actually, again, I've said before, a little bit of clickbait. Talk to your mom. talk to your mom every day, talk to your family, and then stay grounded in whatever faith you have. If that's Christianity, talk to Jesus. Be more like Jesus every day, any way you can. Early morning devotionals, little late night prayers, stuff like that. It doesn't feel that heavy in the moment, but it will get you through, and it will keep you grounded to, again, what you want to be tied to, and then that's going to springboard you forward into whatever you want to do in life.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful piece of advice that I would have loved to hear if I was a 16-year-old kid going into everything, the whole process with recruiting. Because especially even what I liked is even if you're not a Christian per se, find that thing that you're tied into that you can lean on and know that's going to be there for you, like family, of course. You cannot be Christian. I'm a Christian, proud Christian, but if you weren't, still family, like your parents and your siblings, your aunts and uncles, they care about stuff more than you even do. And it's hard to realize, but they are the ones that are by your side the whole time. They saw you since we were the little guys, whatever. They've seen you. They know us more than we do. So I love that you brought that up, is call your parents, call your mom, tell them you love them because they're there for you. And they worry. I talk to my parents all the time. It's weird because Saturdays when we're playing in the fall, me and my dad just had this conversation. He sits there in silence and it feels like a 10-hour day because he doesn't get to watch me and he's been watching the whole time. So I'll have 25 texts by the time game's over what happened, because because like you don't even really process the fact that they've been there by your side the whole time. You've cried to them when it's a issue, when you have an issue. They've been proud of you. They've the amount of times I've been yelled at,
Amen.
all that. It's just that's a big thing. So I'm glad you brought family up because they're always there for you and they're always someone to lean on, as well as Jesus as for us. But some people aren't tapped into their faith as much, but family is always there. They're always there.
Yeah, amen. I love that perspective, and didn't really think about it. So now they did see you grow up. They're seeing you, little you, trying to dribble a basketball, fall down, and now they're seeing you at higher levels, higher stages, and like you just said, they worry, and they worry about stuff even you don't worry about. They're worried about where you're going to park your car, what are you going to eat that day. Again, just keeping them filled in is really important.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful piece of advice. Well, thanks for coming on, bro.
This was so fun.
You're a perfect guy to have on. As soon as I came up with the idea, I wanted to have you on. So I'm glad we made it happen.
I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you driving down and coming on.
Hey, Ball and Books podcast, baby.
Yeah, we're on the rise. Not as much viewers as I thought first one, but this one's gonna get some. This was good content.
Love it.
And then Quinn Hubbs is coming on soon. Nah, he doesn't want. He's producer. All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Sam.
That'll wrap up the second episode. I appreciate Evan coming on. Next episode will be filmed soon, so we're gonna have episodes 2 and 3 coming out to you soon. So tune in. I appreciate everybody that has been interacting with the posts and commenting. It's really helped me out. So thank you. And if you want to see more, keep that up, and we'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving us a subscribe as well as following us on Instagram and TikTok at Ball and Books Pod. Thank you for tuning in today, and we hope to see you in our next episode.